The Friday night movie next week at 9:25 stars Richard Harris as an English aristocrat who was once captured by a tribe of Sioux Indians. In The Return of a Man Called Horse, he seeks reacceptance to the tribe by baring his chest once more to the agonizing sun vow ritual.
Saturday night entertainment on BBC1. At 5:20, The Tripods, and there's treachery at the tournament. At 5:45, Noel Edmonds and guest Duran take another late breakfast. At 6:35, Bob Monkhouse opens the doors for another full house. At 7:10, Juliet Bravo and a local girl is threatened by witchcraft.
She agrees to a service as long as it starts at 10 minutes to midnight.
That takes us into October the 31st. She believes she's going to die on that day.
At 8 o'clock, vengeance in Dynasty.
Now that the truth is out, together we're going to make it right. We're going to make her pay.
At 8:50, Wogan's guests are Raquel Welch, Rick Mail and Ian Botham. At 10 o'clock, action from two First Division games in Match of the Day. Saturday night entertainment on BBC1.
In a couple of minutes here on BBC1, Barry Norman presents a profile of Steve McQueen, one of the Hollywood greats. First, the news headlines with John Humphreys.
The British government is looking at the possibility of airlifting food to Ethiopia. The airlift has been called for by the leaders of the three main churches in Britain who've written to Mrs Thatcher. The Common Market is planning to give another £19 million in aid, and the former German Chancellor, Willy Brandt, has agreed to head an international commission to organise more aid. President Mitterrand has arrived back in France after his state visit to Britain. Before he left, he spoke about the row over the explosives planted at the French ambassador's London home, and he said he didn't think it would affect Anglo-French relations. In Rome, a judge has ordered the trial of 3 Bulgarian government officials and 4 Turks charged with conspiring to assassinate the Pope 3 years ago. The prosecution say the trial will implicate the Bulgarian Secret Service and the Soviet KGB, and they say there were 2, not 1, gunmen. Leading American banks have today cut their prime lending rate by 0.5% to 12%. It's the second cut this month and will help third world countries with big foreign debts. A fortnight after the IRA bomb at the Grand Hotel, Mr and Mrs Tebbit have been transferred by helicopter from hospital in Brighton to the Stoke Mandeville Hospital in Buckinghamshire. Mrs Tebbit has been almost totally paralysed since the explosion, and doctors say she needs the specialist treatment available at the Spinal Injuries Unit. Norman Tebbit is in the same ward. Neil Kinnock has reshuffled the shadow cabinet after last night's election among party MPs. Peter Shaw has handed over his job as trade and industry spokesman to John Smith, but stays on as shadow leader of the Commons. John Prescott takes over Mr Smith's job as employment spokesman. And finally, the Education Secretary, Sir Keith Joseph, has said there will be a new law to give parents the right to stop their children being caned. Schools will have to consult parents to find out if they approve of corporal punishment. The law is being introduced because of a ruling by the European Court on Human Rights. And that's it from us. Good night.
On BBC2 now, there's international tennis with highlights of this evening's quarter-final matches played at the Brighton Centre. While here on BBC1, in 50 minutes, Roger Cook returns to report briefly on developments arising from his television series Checkpoint. That's Checkpoint Update at 12:10. Before that, here's Barry Norman to present a star profile of the late Steve McQueen, one of the Hollywood greats.